Okay, so get this. You're a king, right at the very top, chosen by God himself, no less.
Wow.
And you've got this massive Philistine army breathing down your neck.
Yeah.
God's totally silent, no word, nothing.
Oh, boy.
And you're so desperate, you're about to break a huge rule, like a massive no-no.
Yeah, that's, talk about pressure.
Right. So that's King Saul for you in a nutshell.
Hmm.
And that's exactly where we're going today in our deep dive into the final days of King Saul.
It's a wild ride.
Buckle up, because we're headed straight into 1 Samuel chapters 28 through 31.
We're talking disobedience.
Oh, yeah. Big time disobedience.
Divine justice, the kind that makes you think twice.
Definitely.
And the dangers of power, the kind that corrupts even the best of us.
It's a story about a king's downfall, for sure. But it's also about those deeper themes you were talking about, how our choices echo through.
Exactly. Even seemingly small choices
Even tiny ones.
can have massive ripple effects.
And boy, does Saul's story prove that.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So to really get this whole thing, we got to rewind a bit, right?
Yeah, let's set the stage.
Saul, he wasn't always on the verge of collapse.
He had that promising start.
Exactly. Handpicked by God to lead the Israelites.
Talk about an honor.
Right. But then pride, ambition, that kind of stuff starts to cloud his judgment.
And that's when things start to go south.
Yeah, those early missteps, they really come back to haunt him.
Like that whole thing with the Amalekites.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
God's like, destroy everything, right?
Total annihilation, leave nothing alive.
But Saul, he can't help himself.
Classic.
He keeps the Amalekite king alive.
A bold move.
And takes some sweet loot, too.
The temptation's real, right?
Tell me about it.
That's a huge turning point.
It's like he's saying, my will be done, not God's will be done.
Exactly. And that, my friend, is a recipe for disaster.
And disaster is exactly what he gets, right?
Oh, yeah. Fast forward to 1 Samuel 28, the Philistines are knocking at the door.
And they're not there for a friendly chat.
Not even a little. So Saul, he's terrified, obviously.
Who wouldn't be?
Good point. He's desperate for guidance. But this time, when he reaches out to God,
Ooh, crickets.
total silence.
And he's used to getting messages from God, right?
Oh, yeah. Dreams, prophets, even those sacred objects, the Urim and Thummim.
The what and what?
Urim and Thummim, they were these like divine dice that the priests would use.
Oh, right. To figure out what God wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now nothing.
Just deafening silence.
Yeah. It's enough to make anyone crack.
And crack he does. He makes a decision that's just mind-blowing.
What's that?
He decides to consult with a medium.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you heard that right. A medium?
But Saul, he's the one who banned all that stuff.
Exactly.
He was like, get out of here with that witchcraft.
Exactly. He banished all the mediums and spiritists from Israel.
And now he's knocking on their door.
Desperate times, right?
Desperate is an understatement.
Well, under the cover of night disguised, so no one recognizes him, he sneaks off to this town, Endor.
Endor spooky.
Right. He's looking for this woman known for her connection to the spirit world.
Talk about a risky move.
Risky doesn't even cover it.
It shows you how desperate he is, though.
Totally. But here's the thing. When he gets to her door, he doesn't just come out and say what he wants.
He's playing it coy.
Totally. He's vague at first.
Like, what does he say?
Basically, hey, I need you to summon a spirit for me.
Oh, so he's being all mysterious.
Right. But this woman, she's no dummy. She knows the law.
Of course. She's got to be smart to survive in this line of work.
Exactly. And she knows what Saul did to people like her.
Yeah, she's probably thinking, this guy's going to get me killed.
She even says it.
No way.
Look, you know what Saul did getting rid of all the mediums and spiritists? You're trying to get me killed.
She's not afraid to speak her mind.
She's terrified, but she stands her ground.
I like her already.
So Saul's like, don't worry, I got you.
Famous last words.
Right. He swears a super serious oath in the name of God.
Whoa, putting his money where his mouth is.
Promising her that no harm will come to her if she helps him.
That's a big promise.
Huge. And with that hanging in the air, Saul finally comes clean about who he wants to talk to.
Let me guess, Samuel.
Bingo. The prophet who anointed him king, his mentor, the voice of God himself.
Except for one tiny detail.
What's it?
Samuel's dead as a doornail.
100% dead. So here they are in this dimly lit room, right?
Oh, can you imagine?
It's King Saul and this woman who's whisking her neck just by being there.
Talk about a tense situation.
And he's asking her to call up the spirit of a powerful prophet.
It's like something out of a horror story.
Totally. And you know what happens next, right?
What's that?
It gets even crazier.
Oh, boy.
The text says the witch, she sees Samuel's spirit.
No way.
And she freaks out.
Understandably so.
She's like, whoa, this actually worked.
I'd be freaking out, too.
And to make matters worse, she recognizes Saul.
Oh no, double whammy.
Right. Talk about a recipe for disaster.
So what happens? What does she do?
She's terrified, but Saul, he's so focused on his own problems.
Classic Saul.
I was like, just tell me what you see.
He's on a mission.
Totally. And she's like, okay, I see an old man coming up from the earth, wrapped in a robe.
Samuel, all right.
And let me tell you, Samuel does not look happy.
I bet he was not a fan of necromancy.
Not even a little.
Plus, Saul really messed up their relationship.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So there's all this baggage there, guilt, regret, disappointment.
It's heavy stuff.
And remember, in this context, Samuel's words, they're basically God's words.
It's like having a direct line to the big guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, whatever Samuel says next, it's going to be huge.
And he does not disappoint.
What does he say?
He looks right at Saul and says, "Why have you disturbed me by bringing me up?"
Talk about cutting to the chase.
No time for small talk, right?
None whatsoever. Samuel's got a message to deliver.
And believe me, it's not the message Saul was hoping for.
Late on me.
So Saul, he's still clinging to hope, right? He's like, Samuel, my mentor, help me out here. The Philistines are going to crush me. God's gone silent. What do I do?
He's looking for a miracle.
I Hail Mary anything.
Yeah.
But Samuel, he shuts it down hard.
Ouch.
Yeah, Samuel's like, remember that whole Amalekite thing? You disobeyed God and now you're going to face the music.
It's like he's saying, what did you expect?
Exactly. And it's such a stark contrast to David.
Oh, yeah. David's out there facing his own set of problems.
But his first instinct is always to pray, right?
Exactly. He's all about seeking God's guidance through prayer and religious objects.
Like the ephod.
The one with the Urim and...
Those divine yes or no stones.
Exactly. It's like David's always trying to stay connected to God's will.
Right, while Saul's over here playing with dark magic.
It's a recipe for disaster.
And disaster is exactly what Samuel delivers.
Does he say?
So Samuel lays it all out for Saul, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, look, man, the Lord's done with you. He's ripping the kingdom away and giving it to David.
It's straight to the point, no sugarcoating.
Not even a little. And then the kicker, tomorrow, you and your sons, you're going to be dead with me.
Talk about a gut punch.
It's brutal. And Saul, he just crumbles. He's terrified, completely drained.
Who wouldn't be?
But while all this is going down, David's got his own problems to deal with.
Right, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Exactly. He's found refuge with the Philistines.
That's all people.
I know, right?
Like,
Let's talk about ironic.
It's like hiding in the lion's den.
And these Philistine commanders, they're not exactly thrilled about having David around.
They're smart enough to be suspicious, right?
Oh, yeah. We're like, wait a minute, this guy, he's killed thousands of us.
Slaughtered our champion Goliath.
And now he wants to fight on our side.
Something's not adding up.
Right. So they basically tell Achish, their king, get rid of him, send him back to Ziklag.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. And as it turns out, that was the best thing that could have happened to David.
Because
while he's gone, the Amalekites, they attack Ziklag.
the same Amalekites Saul was supposed to wipe out.
Yep. Talk about a mess.
What happens?
They burn everything to the ground, take everything.
Everything.
Everything. Even David's wives.
Oh, man, that's rough.
It's devastating. When David and his men get back, they're heartbroken. They're angry, too. Some of them even talk about stoning David.
Whoa, that's intense.
That's how upset they are.
So what does David do?
He does what he always does. He prays. He asks God for guidance.
He's a smart man.
He uses the ephod.
Those divine dice again?
Exactly. And God's like, go after them. You'll get everything back.
Talk about a confidence boost.
Right. So David and his men, they set off after the Amalekites.
This is going to be good.
But here's the thing. Not everyone can keep up.
They're exhausted from the journey back to Ziklag.
Exactly. Some of the guys are just spent. So David's like, okay, you guys stay here. We'll catch up later.
He's looking out for his man.
Always.
Oh.
So anyway, they're chasing these Amalekites and they come across this Egyptian slave.
A slave.
Yeah, he'd been abandoned by his Amalekite master.
Probably left for dead.
Pretty much. But David, he shows the slave kindness.
Wow. He's a good guy. The David.
Gives him food and water. And the slave, he's so grateful that he's like, I know where the Amalekite camp is. I'll take you.
No way. That's convenient.
Right. So they get to the camp and surprise, surprise, the Amalekites are partying it up.
They have no idea what's coming.
Not even a clue.
No.
So David and his men, they launch this surprise attack and it's a massacre.
Payback time.
They rescue all the captives, get all their stuff back. It's a total victory.
David 1, Amalekite 0.
But here's where things get interesting. Remember those guys who were too tired to go after the Amalekites?
Yeah, the ones David told to stay put.
They try to start trouble.
What do they do?
They're like, hey, if you didn't fight, you don't get a share of the loot.
Oh, come on, really? After all that.
I know, right? Talk about bad timing.
So what happens?
David, he shuts it down immediately.
Good for him.
He's like, look, guys, this wasn't just our doing. This victory was a gift from God. We all share in this.
He's such a good leader.
Right. He knows how to keep his men united.
So what happens to Saul?
Well, it's not good. He's facing the Philistines at Mount Gilboa, and just like Samuel predicted, it's a disaster.
Oh, no.
His sons, they're killed in battle.
Tragic.
And Saul, he's badly wounded. He knows there's no way out.
So what does he do?
He takes his own life rather than be captured.
It's a sad end for a king who started with so much promise.
It really is. But even in this tragedy, there's a glimmer of hope.
How so?
The men of Jabesh Gilead, they hear what happened to Saul.
How the Philistines desecrated his body.
Yeah, and they're like, no way, we're not letting them get away with that.
So they go after the Philistines.
They do. They risk their lives to recover Saul's body and give him a proper burial.
Wow. That's incredibly brave.
It really is. It shows that even in death, Saul was still respected.
And that even his enemies had some compassion for him.
Exactly. So there you have it. The tragic end of King Saul.
It's a story that really makes you think.
It does. It's a story about the dangers of letting fear and pride get the best of you.
And the importance of staying true to your faith.
Absolutely. It reminds us that our choices have consequences.
And that even the most powerful kings are not immune to the judgment of God.
It's a story that's as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago.
Absolutely. So the next time you're facing a tough decision, remember King Saul and choose wisely.
Words to live by, my friend, words to live by.
Welcome to Charlie and Mia's podcast. We're embarking on an exciting journey to read through the entire Bible in just 1 year. Every day, we dive into Scripture, exploring its meanings and how it applies to our lives today. We invite you to join us on this incredible adventure of learning and discovery. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode.